Hello everyone. Welcome back to the new Interesting Facts channel. A variety of interesting information and important facts, which are happening all over the world. We summarize and we present it interestingly for you. In New Interesting Facts, we have summarized some interesting information for you, that you have never realized, but it is important for you to know.
Number 1.
Phone from Afterlife. September 12, 2008, two train units between Metrolink passenger trains and Union Pacific freight trains collided with each other on a single track on the curved line Metrolink Ventura Country, precisely east of Stony Point, Los Angeles. That killed 25 people. One of the victims named Charles E. Peck, who was going to LA for a job interview. He plans to marry his girlfriend Andrea Katz, who lives in California. So he really hopes to get the job. 12 hours after the unfortunate accident occurred, Charles's cell phone made several calls to his girlfriend, sister, stepmother and brother. But when they picked it up, they heard nothing. Then they decided to call back on Charles' phone number. It turned out that his cell phone was dead. After the Charles family found out that Charles was one of the passengers on the Metrolink train that had an accident, they still believe Charles is still alive. Because the last phone call they got was from Charles' cell number, who seemed to be trying to give them some news. And they could only hope that Charles survived the crash. When rescuers traced Charles' phone signal, they found Charles' body under the wreckage of the train. After an investigation was carried out, the investigative team concluded that Charles died instantly when the collision occurred and he could not have called. Charles's family seemed unable to believe what they were experiencing, until they realized that Charles' cell phone had never been found even until now.
Number 2.
Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam is a student from the University of British Columbia, in Canada. February 19, 2013 was the day he was found horribly dead in a water storage tank on the roof of the Cecil Hotel, Los Angeles. This 21-year-old female student was found after 19 days of being reported as one of the hotel occupants who disappeared suddenly. The staff found his body after many hotel guests complained that the tap water, for drinking, had a strange taste. I repeat, they drank water from the water storage tank where Elisa Lam's body was found. There were no signs of violence on Elisa's body. She was also not affected by drugs or alcohol. So the cause of death is believed to be drowning. Later it was discovered that Elisa had bipolar disorder, a mental illness associated with drastic mood swings. The question for everyone is, how did Elisa get access to the roof, where so many alarms are installed? To get to the water tank where Elisa was found, she had to go through one of the 3 emergency stairs owned by the Cecil Hotel. Even then he had to get out through the window first. Because every door to the roof is locked and equipped with an alarm and password, where only the staff has the code and key. Meanwhile, there was no alarm whatsoever. Even if Elisa manages to get off the roof of the building, she still has to climb up the 2.4-meter high water tank and open the lid on the 20-pound water tank, then close the lid again from the inside. This is very impossible for a woman to do alone. Meanwhile, hotel staff have to use the stairs to see the water because there is no permanent access. But the most horror thing in this case is, when Elisa was still in the hotel elevator on her way to the rooftop of the building. As seen in the following video taken from the CCTV in the elevator.
Number 3.
Maggots in the head. When we want to travel abroad, maybe it's a good idea to get vaccinated to be immune to disease. So that what happened to an English woman named Rochelle Harris doesn't happen to us. This case occurred in 2013, when Rochelle went on holiday to Peru. She never expected what she would bring back to England.
To go and speak to the registrar before I tell you anything. And my mum said, "Oh, please tell us." And I said as well, "No, please, I want to know." And that's when she said, "You've got maggots in your ear."
He complained of excruciating headaches, pain in his face and a scratching sound in his head. When fluid started coming out of his ear, doctors thought it was just a harmless ear infection. Until they saw a lot of maggots writhing deep inside his ear. It turns out that while in Peru, there was a fly that laid its eggs inside this poor woman's head through her ear. At first, the doctor tried to remove the maggots, but instead the medics caught the larvae getting deeper into Rochelle's head. Make a 12mm hole in the ear canal. Doctors said the situation would only get worse if the maggots managed to penetrate his brain. Seeing a potentially dangerous situation, the doctor asked the 27-year-old woman to have her brain examined. To see what damage is caused by maggots, and to find out how many fly larvae there are, and where they are located. There was a possibility that the maggots entered Rochelle's head area. If that happened, the woman could suffer from meningitis. Meningitis is a serious disease because it is located near the brain and spinal cord, so it can cause damage to movement control, thinking, and even death. Not only that, if maggots eat the facial nerves, Rochelle will experience paralysis in the facial area. There is also the possibility of experiencing blood vessel damage. Luckily, the scans showed that there was no damage to the eardrums, blood vessels or facial nerves. Doctors continued to try to kill the maggots by smearing Rochelle's ears with olive oil, hoping the liquid will drown the maggots. However, the effort was not completely successful. The doctor thought that there was one more animal left in Rochelle's ear. Finally, to destroy the animal, doctors and surgeons examined Rochelle's ears using a microscope and a speculum or a probe that normally examines the state of the body cavity. And they were surprised by his discovery. When exploring Rochelle's ear deeper, they found 8 large maggots in Rochelle's ear. Based on the results of the examination, only 2 out of 8 large maggots were successfully destroyed with olive oil. And finally, all the maggots were caught and brought to the laboratory for further research. And the thing that surprised Rochelle the most from the research results was, apparently, the origin of the maggots comes from a fly called Cochleomya, which usually decomposes corpses, then lay an egg in Rochelle's ear. Rochelle tried to remember how it started. She said that when she was in Peru, she was once surrounded by a swarm of flies. In fact, a fly managed to get into his ear, but he immediately shooed it away. Rochelle, of course, never thought that this could happen. Something she considered trivial gave her a big lesson in her life. This case can be a lesson for all of us: keep your environment clean. Before what happened to Rochelle happened to all of us. Thank you for watching this video. Help this channel if you like our videos, with subscribe, like and comment. Activate the bell so you will get notification when we upload the latest video. See you, again.